Hello everyone, and welcome back to the Wrestling Rant. If I can get my damn phone to cooperate. There. Going to get this chat on, and there it is. Even though I doubt anybody will come in to chat with me. Okay, so I just got done watching Raw. It sucked very badly. There weren't all that many matches, and the matches that they had weren't all that good. And the show was mainly about the stupid draft, which the draft itself also amounted to hardly anything. So they may as well have not even done the damn thing. By the way, we're on 2K23 as well, the WWE 2K23 game, and I'm in the community creations right now trying to find recreation of the new World Heavyweight Championship belt. I've already downloaded this one, but upon closer inspection, it's not actually that good. So I already had the belt and I already deleted it. So, and I have this version of the women's ECW championship. I'm not sure if I'm going to be bringing back my Warzone show ECW revival thing in the universe mode, but we're going to see about that maybe. See, the design of this belt is actually pretty nice for a women's title. But why does it have to have Charlotte Flair's fucking side plates on it? Because if it permanently has Charlotte's fucking nameplates on it, I don't want it. Anyways, I don't even really know if there's all that much to really say about what happened on the show. As I mentioned already, there were not that many matches, maybe 4 or 5 total for the entire night, 3 damn hours. The main focus of the show was people coming out and announcing these draft picks for Raw and SmackDown. Last week on SmackDown, they did the first half of the draft. Yeah, and there's another version of the new World Heavyweight title, which I've also already downloaded and also deleted because, again, it's just not that good. I'm honestly hoping that the developers of the game add that new World Heavyweight title to the game as a DLC. That way we don't have to keep wasting our time with downloading bad whatever. But as you can see, there's actually some pretty decent creations that some of these people have made. We're in the most downloaded section, so these are the ones that probably look the best. Here's another version of the New World title. It looks about the same as the others. And here's another version of the WWE Championship that I've seen a couple of times, but again, it has Roman's side plates. So that can fuck right off. Let me see if I can talk about the show, the actual show. Let's see if I can even remember anything because my memory is so goddamn bad. Brock Lesnar and Cody Rhodes were both on the show. They had a segment. Let's see. I think Shawn Michaels had come out to announce... Oh yeah, Shawn Michaels and Adam Pearce had come out to announce some of the draft picks. This was not the beginning of the show, by the way. This was like an hour, hour and a half, maybe 2 hours in. I'm not sure. But anyways, Shawn and Pearce came out to announce some of the draft picks. And they get interrupted by Brock coming out in his little cowboy outfit, looking like he raided Sting and The Undertaker's fucking wardrobes. He's got Sting's fucking trench coat, duster coat kind of coat on, and The Undertaker's, like, cowboy hat. Well, Undertaker never really wore a cowboy hat. It was like a gothic, like, top hat. But either way, Brock's going for this, like, dark cowboy look these days, which I don't know that it really fits him all that well. Brock comes out, gets in the ring, makes a joke about being in Texas, since they were in Fort Worth, I think. This one actually doesn't look bad, but it has a nameplate on the centerpiece, which the real belt does not. Although it would be nice if they just went back to the nameplates, because the stupid side plate thing... Having the side plates where you have to have these little custom logos on the side plates for each person who wins the damn title, it's just dumb. Having a nameplate where you just engrave the person's name into the plate, bam, right there at the bottom of the center plate. Why was that so bad? It was a lot easier to do. Other than having to have 2 custom side plates made for every new champion. Some of these people aren't even coming close. It's based on the old World Heavyweight Championship, the WCW one, the big gold belt. And this person is using completely the wrong strap, completely the wrong centerpiece. This one is the right one. It looks like the old big gold belt. Now the design on it isn't so great, but apparently nobody has gotten the scan of that thing yet to actually make it correct. Or as close as we can get without them actually releasing the thing into the game as DLC. But anyways, Brock comes out, interrupts Shawn and Pearce. And Pearce had already had a backstage segment with Brock earlier when Brock first showed up, asked him to, like, you know, not make things go into chaos, keep the peace, blah 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 blah. And then as Brock is going to the ring, Pearce is like pleading with him, please Brock, don't do anything stupid, blah blah blah, you know. And of course Brock ain't gonna listen because he's a lunkhead. Pierce had already had a segment backstage with Cody as well when Cody first showed up. And asked him basically the same thing. And Cody just kind of smiled and walked away. But anyways, Brock goes down, makes a stupid joke about being in Texas, which gets him boos finally. Maybe I just use this version of the World Heavyweight Championship. Classic design with the nameplate on the centerpiece, and it also has these little circular gold button things or something in between the centerpiece and the side plates. It makes it look a little bit more ornate, a little bit nicer. I mean, whatever. But so yeah, Brock is talking, and then Cody's music hits and interrupts him. And Brock is staring up at the stage, waiting for Cody to come out. His smoke is coming down from the entryway. And then Brock turns around just in time to get decked in the face by Cody, who jumped at him from behind. Which is the right way that you want to do it because... oh yeah, before Cody came out, Pierce got on the microphone and was like, "All right, Brock, I asked you nicely not to do anything stupid, but it looks like you're not going to listen, so I'm just going to have all these security goofs come out to try and escort you out," like that was going to fucking work. That's definitely not the right design, but it's not bad. I'll download it and take a look at it and see if it's any good. And I'm going to keep looking for some more versions because, again, I keep looking at them and they're just not good enough. Oh yeah, make the new WWE Universal Championship look like the old IGPW Heavyweight Championship. There is a belt design out there that I have found. I don't know if I have ever brought this up before, but there is a belt design that I think looks better than every current title in the WWE right now, including NXT, looks better than probably a lot of the previous titles that the WWE has ever had. Oh yeah, that one I think I looked at. It's bad because the side plates are not actually there. It's just a graphic that's printed onto the strap. The centerpiece might be there, and it actually looks pretty nice. But this one looks like it actually has the correct designs, possibly. But it's on the wrong strap, and it looks like the centerpiece and the side plates are just printed on, once again, onto the strap, not actually, actually there. I'll take a look at it, though. But yeah, so Pierce had some security guards try to come down and stop Lesnar. And that's when Cody's music hit, and then he jumps Brock from behind. Cody dropped Brock with one punch, and then Brock scurries out of the ring and ducks and hides behind the fucking security guards. Because it really doesn't seem like he wants any of Cody, which is funny. Brock is supposed to be this big fucking big dude, and he can't even be bothered to... Yeah, this one again looks like they actually got the scan, but it doesn't have the actual plates. And the scan of the center plate is really low quality. Again, hopefully the developers of the game will be smart and add that new belt with DLC. And then there's also this silly bullshit. If you're not aware, on the WWE's official website and the shop version, the shop zone or whatever it's called, they now offer customized versions of replica belts that are customized to fit individual champions. So for the old Winged Eagle belt, they have a customized Hulk Hogan version, which as you can see has a yellow and red kind of splash design with the Hulkamania design for the strap. The side plates and the centerpiece remain unchanged. There's also a version for Bret Hart, the Ultimate Warrior, and I think that might be it. There's at least one version of the Undisputed title belt, the one that Brock held. That was in the early to mid 2000s. I don't know. And they have a bunch of these customized belts that you can buy, and they're all ridiculously fucking expensive. Yeah, this Undisputed Championship. They have that belt, but it's customized to be a Brock version, and I think there might be an Eddie Guerrero version of it because he held that belt as well. That actually looks pretty decent. I don't know if they actually got the actual scan. Let's get that one downloaded, I guess. I'm trying to find things to keep my universe mode as up to date as possible before I start it anyways. World Television Champion. I might need to get that because if I'm getting those ECW belts, I already have the women's title, and I think I have the tag team titles. Still need to get the World Heavyweight title. But anyways, back to Raw. The show started with Triple H coming out and doing his spiel over the draft stuff. and then he gave like the first round of drafts for both Raw and SmackDown. And there's this version of the United States title, which actually looks fairly nice, but again, the side plates aren't actually there. They're just printed onto the strap. The center plate is there, but the design actually goes beyond what the actual center plate is. So it's weird. They might as well have not even put a damn center plate if they can't get one to fit. They really need to add more stuff to the belt creator system, because it just looks really bad. I don't know, it just looks really bad. So yeah, Triple H announced some draft picks. A lot of people were drafted and they stayed exactly where they were. So why is there a custom version of the United States Champion? It looks a little bit different, but like... And I'm also going to need to be careful, because there are also dipshits like this who post this kind of shit where they just have scantily clad pictures of some of the women. Hell, I've seen one that was completely naked. Hopefully we won't see any of those. Oh. Kind of noteworthy, speaking of Trish, seeing her there on that belt, she was drafted to Raw for some reason, despite the fact she's a legend and is really only in a feud with Becky Lynch right now. There's no reason for her to be on either show, like a permanent member of the show, because once her feud with Becky is over, she's probably out of here. Yeah, so I have no clue why on earth they would want to draft Trish. I really don't think she's staying around for very long. So, again, just kind of pointless. That one looks nice, but it's not really close to what the actual belt is. They've got the NXT title strap, and probably the centerpiece. The side plates are not the right shape, but of course they don't exist in the actual game. None of the design stuff is right. That one's way off. That one's closer. Oh, but it's got the wrong side plates. Yeah. Yeah. The IWGP World Heavyweight Champion, which was formed when they decided to unify the old Heavyweight Championship with the Intercontinental Championship. And they decided to change the belts from the old, beautiful IWGP Heavyweight Championship to this new belt, which is about as ugly as it fucking gets. The thing has these weird, like, wing things at the top. Number one, the strap that they show here in the game is wrong. The strap actually follows the shape of the centerpiece. So you have these two little upswept pieces that dig into your gut if you was to wear the thing around your waist. And then there's even kind of like a pointy bit at the bottom that would also dig into your crotch, probably. That belt is just fucking ugly. Really, it's just the centerpiece, but... And it's really just the shape of the centerpiece. The designs on the inside of the centerpiece don't look so bad. They look fine, as a matter of fact. But it's just the shape of that centerpiece. It's stupid. And there was nothing wrong with the old heavyweight title belt design. They didn't need to get rid of it. Okay. We got a couple of versions of that. Let's take a look here. Yes, the Women's World Championship. Also got a NXT Network Championship. I'm not sure if I'm even going to bother using that. Maybe. The Women's Undisputed Championship, which will go on the women's actual show. Because, as with my 2K19 playthrough that I never even really started, I'm still going to have or give the women their own show with more titles to fight over, blah blah blah. Then I have the Hardcore Championship, which will basically replace the 24/7 Championship, although the rules, of course, are going to be different and all that stuff. We've got the Cruiserweight Championship, a custom version with a black strap, gold side plates and center plate. And I'm going to add probably some color to it a little bit. The center plate anyways. Again, you probably might remember from my 2K19 thing, I had the Velocity show brought back, and that was going to be given to the Cruiserweights, and they're going to have the main Cruiserweight title, a mid-card title, tag team titles, and possibly a Money in the Bank to fight over. We've got these two versions of the New World Championship to look at. I got a new version of the Universal Championship, which is basically just kind of more saturated in gold, because the two belts that Roman holds right now are both very boring. The design, the shape of the strap, the side plates, the center plate, they're all boring. And just having a WWE logo in the middle is boring. Boring, boring, goddamn boring. Just like Roman him fucking self, it's boring. Far as I care, Roman, you can keep the boring belts. This new one looks way better, way nicer. And then I have that version of the World Heavyweight Championship, which somebody must have recreated it in this game because it was also in 2K19, and I had it there as well. I'm not sure if I want to just use that one, but I kind of, the more I look at it, the more I don't really like it, because it's basically just a mod of the NXT Championship. And the NXT Championship is kind of big and blocky and chunky, and yeah, I like the design on it. I just wish that they changed the shape. The side plates are okay, but the centerpiece, the center plate needs to be a different shape. And then we've got the Women's Intercontinental and Women's United States titles. Those will be on the women's show, of course. Oh, yep, somebody just printed the designs on the strap. And it looks like they might have actually gotten the real designs, because those are the shapes of the side plates and the centerpiece. Base settings. Strap design needs to be changed. Nope. Nope. That's the NXT belt. No, that's the NXT belt. Where the hell's the World Heavyweight belt? It's not that one. Tell me that I don't have to unlock it. Oh, custom World Heavyweight Championship. And it completely got rid of the designs, changing the strap. Man, you had better be fucking kidding me. If there's a damn thing that I have to do to unlock the World Heavyweight Championship in the belt mode, because I'm not seeing it here. You better be fucking kidding me. It's right there. Why do I have to... So it's under custom. Yeah. Uh, I don't know. I kind of prefer the one with the WWE logo. The side plate designs are not in the damn game. Those right there are maybe the closest to it. Or maybe, no, those aren't really all that close either. ECW title belt ones. Yeah, and the ones from what's on there aren't selectable. Seems like I'm gonna have to go in and unlock stuff either by playing the stupid fucking My Rise mode or something else. There's like diamonds on there, which I don't know if there actually are those on the real belt. Oh, and I actually screwed up the size. Oop, oop, oop. And then stretch her out that way. I think I already screwed it up. Oh, damn it, and I just replaced the one that I wanted. Okay, well, it's already sized properly, I think. Material. Plain steel. Yeah. You need to make sure that you emboss your title belts. Just a little pro tip to the people who actually do it. It actually makes it look, number one, it makes them look shinier, and number two, it also makes it look like the engraving, all the little details and everything, it looks like it's actually there, and not just a flat image. Like, I don't know. And then the gold color, I had a nice gold color picked out the other day, and that might be about it. Steel for that. And the strap is default, otherwise it changes. If you do it leather, it makes it look weird. Needs to be default. No pattern. whatever. Side plate. Single. Size is fine. Material needs to be steel. Emboss. Max it out. I don't think that's a custom. Yeah, it's a relief image. Material. Steel. You can't emboss that one. Okay. Oh yeah, and I think the colors were... Yeah, it was silver instead of... And I don't see a fourth color. Oh, it's being covered up by the other WWE logo. And why did it have to change the color? Hmm. Yeah, I don't know. Looks like they may have already done the embossing on that. Oh. Okay. It still didn't work. Fuck. Ah, I screwed it up. No. When I say move, I mean move the damn design. Custom. That one. No. Oh, it has a black background. Okay. Yeah, I think I really screwed this thing up. There. At least now they match. And that looks like the new belt. There was one that had like a little gold thing, and I don't know. There's been an update here lately, so I think that's like the hardcore one. They like screwed up these videos. And it's a shame that there's only 5 of these. I feel like there could be a lot more. Okay. I did already pick. Yeah, that's that, and that's steel. Well then. Don't know why they didn't have it on the other side too, but that weird golden clasp thingy. Eh. That looks to be about as good as we're probably going to get unless they actually add the belt to the game with DLC. How the hell did you get the actual WWE logo on there? Hmm. How do you get that logo? And it uses the same strap that I picked for the other one. Just curious how you actually get that logo on there. There's the one that I just did, and that's the one we're going to stick with because it's probably about as close as we're going to get. Although this one has... Yeah. Oh, right, yeah. Material. Steel. Emboss. Yeah. Ugh. Yeah. Never mind that shit. I might modify that one since it has the name, even though that little logo is weird. Don't know how in the hell you get that symbol. Anyways, I'll figure some stuff out. Um, I completely lost track of talking about Raw. But as I mentioned before, there wasn't really much. Triple H kicked off the show to come out and do the first round of draft picks. I don't remember who the draft picks were. Again, they were very inconsequential. Most people stayed where they were. Maybe only a couple of people moved. And it didn't really matter. It's a shame there's not a logo for the NXT logo, like how there is with the WWE thing. ECW would be interesting as well. Anyways. And the other part of this that doesn't really matter much is these draft pick things don't go into effect until May 8th, the night after, which is the Raw, the night after, or the Raw after Backlash. On SmackDown, during the first night of the draft, AJ Styles returned along with Luke Gallows and Carl Anderson, the Club, or the OC, along with Mia Yim, who they still keep calling Mi Chin. I don't know why they keep calling her that. Apparently it's a nickname that she has backstage, but it's dumb and just sounds weird. Mia Yim sounds better. Just leave it that. She's not even in the damn game. Nikita Lyons was shown a couple of times whenever they were doing the draft, and whenever somebody from NXT got drafted up to the main roster, they showed like this live feed from the Performance Center down in Florida. And a whole bunch of these NXT people were there, of course, and Nikita was one of them sitting there. I think she's actually injured right now, so I don't think she's going to be returning anytime soon. Zelina Vega was in a 6-person tag match. Her, Santos Escobar, and Rey Mysterio took on Rhea Ripley, Dominic Mysterio, and Damian Priest of the Judgment Day because they're feuding. Zelina's getting a shot at Rhea at Backlash for the SmackDown Women's title. And Rhea has been drafted to Raw. So since she's holding the SmackDown Women's title, she needs to drop that fucking thing soon. And Bianca Belair, the Raw Women's Champion, has been drafted to SmackDown. So they're either both going to have to drop those belts to somebody else, or they're going to have to do the stupid switch thing, which does not look good. and does not help anybody. So they might want to just uh, get that shit, get those belts dropped and switched. Yeah. Boogs got drafted to SmackDown, I believe, but Elias did not go with him. Elias didn't even get drafted during the show, or during SmackDown this past Friday, for that matter. Um, oh, Ricochet and Strowman, I think, were drafted to Raw since Ricochet is on SmackDown right now. Ridge Holland, Pete Dunne or Butch, whatever you want to call him, and Sheamus all got drafted to SmackDown, despite the fact they're all already on SmackDown. And the New Day, Kofi Kingston and Xavier Woods, were drafted to Raw. And that's significant because Ridge Holland was the guy who uh, well, Big E's neck, Big E of the New Day, his neck was injured when Ridge Holland threw him overhead. It was an overhead belly-to-belly suplex on the floor. And that's how Big E's neck got broken. Now, I'm not blaming Holland here, because accidents happen. But that is how it happened. Roman, Solo Sikoa, and Paul Heyman were drafted to SmackDown on the SmackDown edition of the draft. So he's permanently going to be on SmackDown. He's going to keep his two shitty belts on SmackDown. And Cody Rhodes was drafted to Raw. And that also happened on SmackDown. So they're already shooting themselves in the foot with this storyline. Tonight on Raw, though, Ronda Rousey and her partner Shayna Baszler were both drafted to Raw, I think, since it shows that they're on SmackDown. Sammy and Kevin both got drafted to Raw as a team, and the Usos got drafted to SmackDown. That both of those happened here on Raw. Excuse me. So, they're ending the feud between those two teams, and it also kind of shoots in the foot any kind of split there may have been between the Usos and the rest of the bloodline. But it was weird because, again, Roman, Solo, and Paul Heyman, who's not even a wrestler, the three of them were drafted as the bloodline, just the three of them. And that happened on SmackDown. The Usos had to get drafted separately. So, I don't really give a shit. All 5 members of the LWO got drafted to SmackDown. All 5 of them. So, they're already on SmackDown anyways, so don't care. Rollins got drafted to Raw, and so did Rhea Ripley. Rhea Ripley was the first pick. Don't know why, though. Already mentioned Shayna. Got drafted to Raw, yeah, so her and Ronda need to come over to Raw. Oops, edit. these as much as I can. Yeah, Boogs gets thrown over to SmackDown. Shinsuke Nakamura gets drafted to Raw. And uh, there's no word yet on Elias. So Ricochet and Strowman, I believe, went to Raw. Which is dumb because I was kind of hoping that they were going to split the two of them up, because Ricochet and Braun Strowman have not worked as a tag team. Ronda gets bumped over to Raw. Unfortunate, because I don't want to watch her on Raw. I just plain don't want to watch her punk ass. She doesn't seem to be a very good wrestler, and she also seems to keep getting hurt. Nakamura went over to Raw. Nakamura also had a little segment with The Miz. The Miz was hosting his Miz TV thing, and his guest was Nakamura. And Shotzi, I think, also got drafted over to Raw. Because she changed brands, I think. Or maybe she didn't. I don't know. I don't really want to change these unless I'm sure. Solo's still on SmackDown. I'm going to have to go through the whole damn roster again and change everybody. Ciampa is still injured. And like I said, Trish got drafted to Raw, although I'm not sure why, considering all she's going to do is have a feud with Becky and then she's going to leave. Oh yeah, Woods and Kofi got drafted to Raw. No word on Big E, but that's because he is still injured, and they probably aren't going to do anything with him until he can come back, or until there's news on him coming back. Zoe Stark, I think it was SmackDown, but I think she got drafted up to the main roster. I can't remember which show, though. Yeah, AJ and the whole OC are on SmackDown. But the rest of the OC isn't even in the damn game right now, so it doesn't matter. They had a segment on SmackDown after the announcement that they had been drafted to SmackDown. The four of them came out, and I think they were just talking, and then out came the Viking Raiders. And then AJ just sat up on one of the turnbuckles and was just like, OC, go ahead and handle your business. And Gallows and Anderson beat the hell out of the two dudes of the Viking Raiders, and Mia Yim beat the hell out of Valhalla, as she is called, who is just Sarah Logan, because she's actually married to one of the Viking Raider dudes. Alba Fire and her team member Isla Dawn, who are the NXT Women's Tag Team Champions. On SmackDown, they got drafted up to the main roster. I can't remember whether it was Raw or SmackDown. And apparently this coming week, or this week on NXT, they're supposed to defend the NXT Women's Tag Titles against Katana something or other and Caden Cross, who also got drafted tonight on Raw up to the main roster. So, yeah, that's going to be weird. Angelo Dawkins and his partner Montez Ford also got drafted to SmackDown, and considering, I believe it's Ford who's married to uh, Bianca Belair, they are keeping couples together. So wherever one member of a couple goes, the other one is sure to follow. Becky Lynch and Seth Rollins both ended up on Raw, although they're already on Raw, so. Cruz got drafted back up to the main roster. I can't remember which show. I don't know if Asuka was drafted. Theory, tonight here on Raw, got drafted over to SmackDown, since on SmackDown, Gunther and the entirety of Imperium, the other two, his little flunkies, they all got drafted to Raw. So the Intercontinental title is coming to Raw, and the United States title is going to SmackDown. He's having a match with Damian Priest at the pay-per-view because he's the host of the pay-per-view, and they've been like feuding, the two, Bunny and Dom Mysterio. And Damage Control got drafted to, it might have been SmackDown. Yeah, I think it was SmackDown, because Io Sky has a match against Bianca Belair at Backlash for the SmackDown, or for the, no, Bianca's the Raw Women's Champion, right. So, Damage Control is staying on Raw. Right, okay, so they're staying on Raw. Becky's staying on Raw. Beth's not really doing anything right now. Bianca is getting drafted to SmackDown. Don't know about Big E. Lashley got drafted to SmackDown. I think that was on SmackDown. Jesus. Booker T might have been there at Raw as one of the presenters of the draft picks. His wife Charmel was, though. I know that. Were they going to... I don't know what the hell's going on. Brock was confirmed to be a free agent, meaning he can go to either show whenever he wants. Supposedly, Brock negotiated to have his contract changed so he wouldn't be tied down to one show or the other. So he's on both. Nothing about Braun Breaker. Apparently he's going to stay on NXT for a while. Right, the Brutes are on SmackDown. Cameron Grimes got drafted up to the main roster. I can't remember which show he went to, though. Gable and Otis, I think, got drafted to Raw, so they're staying right where they are. And so are the Maximum Male Models are staying on Raw, so they're not going to end that cringy gimmick. Charlotte got drafted to SmackDown even though she was already there. Cody's staying on Raw. I have no idea who this guy is. But I'm putting him on NXT anyways. They need to get her heel outfit and music and entrance into the game. Just make a completely new character for her, I guess. Like I said, all of the LWO are going to SmackDown or staying on SmackDown. All of Damage Control is staying on Raw. Judgment Day is staying on Raw. She was never mentioned. I don't know if Loomis was ever mentioned, but I guess that just means he's going to stay where he is. Him and Gargano. Indy Hartwell, however, the NXT Women's Champion, got drafted to Raw. So she's going to have to drop that NXT belt. Judgment Day again. McIntyre got drafted somewhere, but I think... I don't know. He might be staying on SmackDown. I'm not sure. Edge got drafted to SmackDown. So he's actually changing brands. Don't know what the point of that is. It's going to keep him away from the Judgment Day, and that feud should be over, but who knows. Oh yeah, he's coming to Raw with Gunther and the other two Chodes, or the other one Chode. Imperium used to be a four-man group in NXT. There was a fourth member, I swear. So they're coming over to Raw. I'm going to have to change. Currently in a rivalry. Yeah. Eat a dick. It's going to have to change. Save all settings, everything. Nothing about Corbin, which is good because nobody really wants him, and he needs to change his gimmick because it sucks. Not the Hurricane, but Molly Holly was one of the presenters. Not Mighty Molly, just Molly Holly. Like I said, Indy got drafted to Raw. Keep her on NXT, I guess, for right now. She's going to have to drop that belt, though. JBL was a presenter with Teddy Long. I think JD McDonough got called up to the main roster as well. I'm not sure. The Usos are staying on SmackDown. Nothing about him. He's part of LWO. They're going to SmackDown, staying on SmackDown. Cena's gone again. There was nothing about Gargano. Cross got drafted to SmackDown, which means he's staying right where he is. Oh, there it is. Katana Chance and Caden Carter got drafted up to the main roster. And again, they're challenging for the NXT Tag Team titles against Isla Dawn and Alba Fire. So he's staying where he is. Despite the fact they started a damn feud between him and Nakamura. But again, the changes don't really take effect until the night after Backlash, or the Raw after Backlash. Owens and Sammy got drafted to Raw, so they're exclusive to Raw. So I'm guessing they're probably going to end up relinquishing the SmackDown tag titles so that SmackDown can have their own tag champions. Kofi got drafted to Raw along with Xavier Woods. LA Knight, I think, stayed on SmackDown, but he was drafted to SmackDown, which is stupid because they should have put him on Raw. Lacey Evans, I think, maybe got drafted somewhere. Don't know where. Liv Morgan and Raquel Gonzalez, or Rodriguez, whatever, the women's tag team title champions, they got drafted to Raw, I believe. It won't matter, though, because as long as they're the tag team champions, they get to bounce between shows. So I'm just going to put them on both. They had a match against Damage Control, which was Bayley and Dakota Kai. And it was not a title match, thankfully, because Bayley and Dakota Kai got the win. Riddle, I think, got drafted to Raw, so he's staying. No. Did he? Yeah, he got drafted to Raw. Ford goes to SmackDown. Omos has a match coming up with Seth Rollins at Backlash, but they haven't really done much to build up to that match. So, I don't know. Yeah, so I think I got most of everything. Except for the stuff that I was unsure about. So, shows. Raw. Oh, for fuck's sake. Go away. I don't need this tutorial shit. World Television. Oh, I could just use the actual ECW belts instead of, but they didn't have a women's title belt. Oh, and one thing I made mention of in my last video in this was the WCW Women's Championship. They must have completely gotten rid of it because it looked like the old WWE Women's Championship belt. This one. Well, they replaced that with what the belt actually looked like. So they patched that up. So the Intercontinental title is now on Raw. And on SmackDown, it's going to be the US title. Okay. Where is the United States title? There it is. And I'm probably going to have to come up with a new title belt. Oh wait, I do have a new title belt for the Universal title, which will be Roman's belt, and he'll just have one. NXT, their titles didn't move, although supposedly with the two women's tag teams that were drafted up to the main roster, NXT is being left with basically no women's tag teams. So there's not really much of a point in even having the titles down there. But oh well. Oh, Gunther and... yeah, don't think that one's happening anymore. I don't even know if it was even there to begin with. Raw, we've got Cody and Brock. Oh, Brock, Cody. Don't really know that anything's really going on SmackDown. Like I said, they're coming up to the main roster. Don't think these two were drafted at all, so oh well. They all got drafted to SmackDown. Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, I think I got stuff about right. There were not really, again, there were not that many matches. I'm trying to remember the matches that happened on Raw. The first match was the tag match, the not for the women's tag team titles, but it had the champions, Liv and Raquel. They lost to Bayley and Dakota Kai. Let's see, the finish of the match, Liv hit her little oblivion on Dakota, but I think Dakota had been blind tagged out by Bayley. Bayley comes in, rolls Liv up for the 1-2-3. Really shitty finish. Um, what other matches were there? I think I'm actually going to do myself a favor here and use my phone. Hmm. Okay. Might as well talk about this, I suppose. After SmackDown last week on Friday, there's apparently like a thing called the Lowdown, the SmackDown Lowdown, which is like, I guess, a talk show that they do after the show, where some more draft picks were made for the SmackDown half of the draft. And apparently, there's also a show called Raw Talk, which happens after Raw. And they apparently did some more draft picks during the Raw Talk thing, and that happened tonight. And I'm just going to go ahead and use NoDQ.com, as I have in the past, as my source here, and I'm just going to read off of their website. Superstars drafted to Raw include Nikki Cross, Dana Brooke, Johnny Gargano, Angel Garza, Humberto Carrillo, Piper Niven, Xia Li, Tegan Knox, Emma, Riddick Moss, Indus Sher, and Odyssey Jones. Now, I don't know if Emma's in the game. Pretty sure Tegan Knox is not in the game. Riddick Moss is in the game as Madcap Moss. They have changed his name back to what it was in NXT. I don't know who the hell Indus Sher is, although I think he's somebody from NXT, and the same thing goes for Odyssey Jones. Superstars drafted to SmackDown include Tamina and Grayson Waller. Only those two. And then it says Baron Corbin, Cedric Alexander, Shelton Benjamin, Elias, and Xion Quinn are currently free agents. So, okay then. I guess we go back into the universe real quick. Let's see. Dana Brooke drafted to Raw, so she's right where she should be. Nikki Cross on Raw as well. Johnny Gargano is also on Raw. Angel Garza, who has been given his full name back and is no longer just Angel. Okay, he switches over to Raw, and so does Humberto Carrillo. Oh, he's got his full name back, considering they apparently just shortened it to Humberto. Stop shortening people's names. Idiots. Piper Niven went over to Raw. She's already there. Xia Li goes to Raw. Although she hasn't really done much anyways, so I don't think that's going to matter much. Tegan, what the fuck? Tegan Knox, who I don't think is even in the game. She's not. Emma, also not in the game. They should just do a big draft. Just call it the WWE Draft DLC. And just add a bunch of people who were a part of the draft but not actually in the game. Madcap Moss, even though it's Riddick Moss now, he goes over to Raw. And I don't know if I'm even going to bother changing his name or anything. I can't change his name anyways, but... And again, I have no idea who Indus Sher and Odyssey Jones are, so... I'm guessing they're NXT call-ups. And then Tamina is going to SmackDown. She hasn't been seen in months on Raw anyways, so I don't think it'll really matter. And Grayson Waller. Don't think he's ready for the main roster yet, but no. Leave him on NXT. He's also a heel. Okay. Okay. So let's recap the drafts from tonight that actually happened on Raw. Triple H handled the first round drafts. SmackDown Women's Champion Rhea Ripley has been drafted to Raw. United States Champion Austin Theory has been drafted to SmackDown. Seth Rollins has been drafted to Raw. Charlotte Flair has been drafted to SmackDown. Round 2, which was Booker T and Queen Sharmell, announced the picks. Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn have been drafted to Raw. The Usos drafted to SmackDown. Judgment Day drafted to Raw. The LWO, including Rey Mysterio, have been drafted to SmackDown. Round 3 was Shawn Michaels announcing the picks. That's when it was supposed to be Michaels and Pierce, but Pierce had ran off to handle Lesnar. Blah, blah, blah. Women's Tag Team Champions Raquel and Liv drafted to Raw. Asuka got drafted to SmackDown. I didn't remember that one. The New Day got drafted to Raw. The Brawling Brutes drafted to SmackDown. Round 4, Eric Bischoff's decrepit old ass came out along with Rob Van Dam. Rob Van Dam, who was also there on SmackDown to do some shit during the SmackDown draft. They announced the picks. Trish Stratus drafted to Raw. Karrion Kross drafted to SmackDown. The two of them stayed where they were. Ronda Rousey and Shayna Baszler drafted to Raw. And LA Knight drafted to SmackDown. I think I mentioned all of those. Round 5. Molly Holly and Road Dogg announced the picks for this one. Strowman and Ricochet drafted to Raw. So, Strowman and Ricochet. Both to Raw. Shotzi Blackheart drafted to SmackDown. It's just Shotzi. Got drafted to SmackDown. So she stays where she is. Bronson Reed, who's not even in the game. Yeah, not even in the game. Despite the fact he's in the middle of a feud with Bobby Lashley, he gets drafted to Raw. And Bobby Lashley got drafted to SmackDown on the SmackDown draft Friday. And the NXT tag team known as Pretty Deadly got drafted to SmackDown. I don't think those two guys are even in the game. Round 6, which was announced by JBL and Teddy Long. The Alpha Academy got drafted to Raw, so they didn't move anywhere. Rick Boogs gets drafted to SmackDown. Katana Chance and Caden Carter got drafted to Raw. They got drafted to Raw. Yes. So we're going to leave them on NXT as well, but now they're also on Raw as well. Or at least once I get done doing both of them. Her and her. Cameron Grimes got drafted to SmackDown. – And I'm pretty sure he's a heel now, so we're also going to leave him in NXT as well because, yeah. Okay. And then we're just going to go back to the SmackDown results. Okay, so back for SmackDown, Triple H did the first round. Roman Reigns, Solo Sikoa, and Paul Heyman drafted to SmackDown. Cody Rhodes drafted to Raw. Bianca Belair drafted to SmackDown, and Becky Lynch drafted to Raw. Round 2, Rob Van Dam and Michael Hayes announced the picks for that one. That was the thing. I saw this clip on YouTube, and I was like, what the hell is Michael Hayes doing on TV? And this is where they announced that the Street Profits went to SmackDown, Imperium went to Raw, Edge went to SmackDown, and Matt Riddle drafted to Raw, where he already was anyways. So, yeah. Round 3, JBL and Teddy Long announced the picks again. Bobby Lashley drafted to SmackDown. Let me check at Bobby and see if I got him right here. SmackDown. Drew McIntyre got drafted to Raw. I knew he got drafted somewhere, and I thought it was somewhere else. So he got drafted to Raw, which I thought was pointless because McIntyre's trying to get out of the company anyways, supposedly, because he hates it where he is. He may end up continuing to feud with Gunther, and may end up taking the Intercontinental title. The entirety of the OC drafted to SmackDown. I already covered that. AJ Styles is the only one who's actually in the damn game. Oh, and The Miz got drafted to Raw, which pretty sure he's already on Raw anyways. Yes. Round 4. Shawn Michaels and the Road Dogg announced the picks. Damage Control has been drafted to SmackDown. Okay, so I screwed that up. They're all on SmackDown now. So Bayley, Dakota, and I need to go back into her because she should be at Flat Out Boo. And Io Sky. She's going to stay at a mix because I think her face is showing. And so that's the 3 of them. Shinsuke Nakamura got drafted to Raw. Pretty sure I already changed him to Raw, yes. And then, like I said, Alba Fire and Isla Dawn drafted to SmackDown from NXT. Isla Dawn's not in the game, but Alba Fire is. She got drafted to SmackDown. Leave her on NXT, though, because she's going to have to stick around there for a minute. And then Indy Hartwell got drafted from to Raw from NXT. So I already did Indy. Yeah, yeah. And that was it for that, but there was also some shit that happened on the lowdown, the SmackDown lowdown. Um, yeah, I'm not seeing anything about the SmackDown lowdown. And they're also not showing the results for Raw itself, the matches and whatnot. Okay, well, I guess that's really all that we can take from NoDQ.com, I guess. Um, well, anyways, I think that's basically it anyways. As I already stated, tonight's episode of Raw was a popcorn fart, which amounted to basically no one really changing. Not, I mean, a couple of minor people changed, but it didn't really matter in the overall. It didn't really matter. So, so, still trying to see if I can remember about the matches that happened. The Liv and Raquel versus Damage Control match happened first, after the first round of draft picks. And there was the 6-person tag match with the LWO versus the Judgment Day. That match happened. Um, trying to remember the finish of that one. I think the Judgment... Yeah, the Judgment Day got the win. Ray was on the apron going for something. on somebody. But then he got caught by Priest, who was the legal member of his team, grabbed him by the throat, picked him up, brought him into the ring, and gave him the South of Heaven choke slam. And that was the match. So, or that was the finish. Priest got the win. Judgment Day wins. They still fucking suck. Oh, that's right. Ray was going for the 619 on Priest. Priest was throated on the ropes. Balor, who wasn't even in the match, jumped up on the apron and took the hit of the 619 for Priest, which saved Priest. Balor falls down, and Ray was looking at him like, you fucking dumbass. Turns around, gets grabbed by the throat, picked up, choke slammed. 1, 2, 3, match was over. So that's what happened there. I honestly cannot remember any other matches that... No, wait. Yes, there was another match. Jimmy Uso took on Matt Riddle. Riddle had Kevin and Sammy at ringside to help him, and Jimmy only had Jey Uso with him. There was no Solo Sikoa to be found, because early in the show, Solo ended up getting himself into a match with Seth Rollins for the main event. I think that little promo segment may have happened after the first round draft picks and before the Liv and Raquel versus Damage Control match. I don't remember, though. Doesn't matter. So that match was set up for the main event of Raw. Jimmy was going against Matt Riddle. At ringside, Jay was staring down Sammy and Kevin over by the commentary table. Sammy grabbed a chair from ringside. Owens hits the deck for no reason. Sammy smacks the chair against the commentary table and then goes, hey ref, hey ref. He throws the fucking chair at Jay, who catches it. And Sammy's yelling, hey ref, hey ref. The ref looks over. Jay's holding the chair, and Sammy's pointing at Kevin going, he hit Kevin with the chair, he hit Kevin with the chair. And so the referee fucking ejects Jay from the ringside area, even though Jay did nothing actually wrong for once. A fucking Eddie Guerrero style, it's not even cheating because none of them were even involved in the match. But, like, it was hilarious. And that ended up leading to the finish. Jimmy inside the ring was taking one of the turnbuckle pads off. The referee was distracted with Riddle. So Jimmy's trying to take this turnbuckle pad off. He takes it off. And then Kevin grabbed Jimmy and smacked his head into the exposed turnbuckle, the ring, the metal ring that's there. And then he turns around and eats a big running knee from Riddle. Jimmy hits the deck. Riddle goes to the top rope and does the... It's the whisper in the wind that Jeff Hardy used to do. The twisting senton from the top rope. But I think Riddle calls it the floating bro or some shit. I don't give a fuck. they need to stop renaming all these damn moves, and they need to start coming up with some of their own fucking moves instead of just renaming old shit. It's bad enough that the Usos used the 3D, which was the Dudleys' old tag team move. They use it and they call it the 1D. It's 1D. Anyways, so Riddle hits the floating bro or whatever it's called, and he gets the win with it. Blah, blah, blah. There was that match. And that may have been the last match before the main event, which was Rollins versus Solo Sikoa, which ended up ending in probably what would have been a no contest because despite the fact that they were having a pretty competitive back and forth match, out of nowhere come running the Usos who attack Rollins. And that only lasted for a few seconds because all of a sudden out come Kevin and Sammy and Matt Riddle and they start beating on the Usos and Solo. And that's how the show went off the air. Was the match was over, no contest, and the 7 of these guys were just brawling. You had Rollins, Matt Riddle, Kevin, and Sammy beating on the Usos and Solo. And that's how the show went off the air. So that was Raw. I think that was all that happened. I don't think there were any other matches. And if they were, they weren't important. There were no titles changed hands. Nothing important. The show was mainly about the stupid draft picks, and most of the draft picks kept people exactly where they were, and only a couple of people actually changed between Raw and SmackDown, and only a couple of people were drafted up from NXT over both of the stupid days of the draft, both tonight and last Friday. So, yeah, not much changed. It doesn't really matter. And it was just a waste of fucking time. So, yeah. There's your Raw rant, your Raw review. It sucked. Um, the WWE really needs to start stepping its game up. Now that this damn draft is over with, they really don't have any excuse to start getting their shit in gear and start having things happen. Um, as I've mentioned before, the draft picks don't really take effect until the Raw after Backlash. So the Backlash pay-per-view is like, I guess, the first weekend of May this month. And there's already some matches set up for that. Like I said, I think Io Sky is taking on Bianca Belair for the Raw Women's Championship. Zelina Vega is taking on Rhea Ripley for the SmackDown Women's Championship. Cody's taking on Brock Lesnar, of course. Seth Rollins is supposed to be taking on Omos, which again, they haven't really been building that up. You know what? I think Omos actually had... Yeah, he did. Omos had a match on Raw tonight. It was versus some... To me, the guy seemed like some random local jobber. And it was basically just a squash match. Omos flattened the guy in less than a couple of minutes, and it was over. Yeah. Omos really sucks, and they need to get rid of him. He's boring as shit. He's bland. He's got no personality. And he's just another big dumb hoss with two left feet who can't fucking work. Um, there was actually a sloppy spot in that match, as I recall. Omos went to pick up the jobber dude, and they must have mistimed it because he went to pick him up for like a body slam, and it just either the jobber dude jumped too early or too late, and Omos just couldn't get him all the way up. I don't know what the hell happened, but it was a really bad spot there. Yeah. There was also a funny spot in the Judgment Day versus LWO match. Rhea Ripley went to do like a gorilla press on Rey Mysterio. And she's supposed to be this big burly bitch, and she's having a hard time lifting up Rey Mysterio, who's about 5 foot nothing, and only weighs maybe 180 pounds, I don't know. But she couldn't lift his ass up for this press slam, and it was fucking hilarious because people keep overrating her as being this strong, tough bitch, and it's just like, yeah, she's struggling to lift little Rey Mysterio. It's fucking hilarious. I fucking hate this company. Um, yeah, I'm going to have to go through and make sure that I've got everybody on the right rosters. I'm going to do work on those title belts. I have to fix the title belts. I'm going to get the one good version of the new World Heavyweight Championship, and we're probably going to use that custom version of the Universal Championship, and that's going to be the one that's on SmackDown. I'm going to see about creating, I don't know about bringing Warzone back for the ECW revival. I don't know about that. We're going to make the women's show, and we're going to bring back Velocity again for the cruiserweights, and we're going to give them their own show, and we're going to have a big old freaking universe mode, and we're going to have some fun. And I'm going to run each show on the calendar. Yeah, Backlash is really going to be the first. I don't need these damn tutorials. Yeah, and the thing has officially been renamed to just Backlash, not WrestleMania Backlash. So, yeah. We'll see how all of that goes. Yeah. I'm thinking the women's show is going to go on Wednesday, and Velocity will go on Saturday. Which is funny because the WWE is actually running the pay-per-views on Saturdays now. So, I don't know why they still have them on Sundays in the damn universe mode. And I don't even know if you can even put them on Saturdays. I don't know. It doesn't matter. It's stupid that they changed it from Sunday to Saturday. But I suppose the reason why they did it is because since WrestleMania, it has been 2 days for the last couple of years now because it's so goddamn bloated. They can't get it done in one day, so they have to have it be both Saturday and Sunday. And then they also usually have their NXT shows on Saturday, I think. So if you have an NXT pay-per-view the same weekend as one of the regular pay-per-views, they're like on the same day. Or maybe that's when they move the NXT show to Friday. I don't know. I don't fucking know. It's all way too damn confusing and stupid. It's why they should have just left the damn pay-per-views on Sundays, and then they could have the NXT shows on Saturdays. It's all just a bunch of silly bullshit. Anyways, that's going to wrap it up for this episode of the Wrestling Rant. I hope you have enjoyed this. I know there was quite a bit of mostly silence in there while I was playing around doing stuff in the universe mode and looking at those, or changing around the title belts, the actual changing them in here mode. Anyways, I'm going to have to do more of that to get the one thing set up properly. Damn it, I exited out of the damn thing again. Get back in there. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, they don't even have the WWE logo before the name on the real belts. It just says WWE. So maybe I don't really need to change that one. Yeah, WWE Championship. It should be called the World Heavyweight Championship, because if you actually look at the belt, it says World Heavyweight Champion. That was the belt that was made when they unified the old Big Gold World Heavyweight Championship with the WWE Championship, which was the first version of that belt, the one that The Rock introduced, which had the old scratch WWE logo on it, which I think is in the game somewhere. Hold on a minute. I swear they had it in here. It was in 2K19. Huh. And they've got 4 different versions of the Intercontinental title. The most recent version with the white strap, and then there's a yellow or goldish strap from 1990, and then the one with the black strap from 1994. And then, of course, there's the oval kind of shaped one from 98 to 2011, which I honestly liked that version a little bit better. But then they had to change it back to this one. And then they brought in this new one. Oh yeah, that version of the Universal title. And get rid of the stupid blue strap that makes it look like a Smurf wiped his ass with it. And the stupid red version, which was from Raw, the fruit by the foot version of it. I am not seeing the version that I was thinking of, the one that The Rock introduced. So it must just not be in the game. oh well, I guess they don't want that version of the belt to be publicized very much because it still had the old Scratch logo on it, and they don't want those really, except for the frickin' Cruiserweight, which still has it, and the European, most of the old belts still have it. The Smoke and Skull title, the Brahma Bull title, the Big Cookie belt, the Winged Eagle belt, the classic Worldwide Wrestling Federation Heavyweight Championship. I think Hulk Hogan may have held this version of the belt briefly before it was turned into the Winged Eagle. Or maybe I'm wrong. Maybe that was one that was before even Hogan. NWO versions of the World Heavyweight title. The WCW US title. The WCW Cruiserweight title. The WCW Hardcore title that nobody ever really wanted. The crappy version of the WCW World Heavyweight title. The Women's Classic WCW Championship. Up, up, down, down belt, and I think there's even a left, right belt, which is stupid as shit. The original version of the NXT Women's Championship. And then the newer version, before it was made with a white strap and a rainbow effect on the back plate, or the backing of the plate, whatever it is. NXT UK. Oh, yeah. Anyways, we're just going over belts. I'm stupid. So anyways, like I said, that's the end of this video. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this. Please join us next time for more. If I happen to do another one of these videos for the Wrestling Rant going over Raw, because I just don't really give much of a shit anymore. I need to start doing my own playthrough of the Universe mode, or possibly going through the My Rise mode. Yeah, not really liking this very much. But anyways, thank you all for watching. Join us next time for more. I will be seeing you later. But thank you all, and good night.